celebration at Community Dynamics. We are very excited. We have some very fun presentations prepared for you today. For those who don't know, or for those who maybe wanted the refresher, at Community Dynamics, we provide technical assistance and capacity building support for mission-driven organizations. So we basically are innovation consultants for the social and public sector. I'm just going to give a quick overview of the agenda, and then we will get started with our festivities. So today we're going to start off with an opening performance by Niles Rivers, who is here. He is from Cleveland Heights, and he has been on Broadway and beyond, and he has shared his gifts as a singer, songwriter, and producer and actor, and he's worked with legends like David Foster and Randy Jackson, and earned recognition from Prince, and even starred in Disney's Lion King. So that is very excited. We're very excited to have him here. Then we'll hear from our CEO, Austin Thompson. He'll share some words about CDX or Community Dynamics, where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. We will then hear from our guest speakers, Oneisha Freeman Rojales and Manuela Arciniegas, who we're also very excited to have here today. We will then hear from our head of finance and operations, Janetta, and then we will have a closing performance from Niles, and we will wrap it up from there. So, Niles, if you are ready, we would love to have you open us up.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay? Hello, everyone. Congratulations on all that you're doing, and all the best to you. Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while you sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. Oh, 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 oh. It's my own design. It's my own remote. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world. Oh, 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 oh. There's a place where the light can't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. When you do, I'll be right behind you. So glad we almost made it. So sad they had to fade it. Everybody wants to rule the world, yeah. Oh, 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 ooh, 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 oh. Everybody wants to rule the world. Oh, oh, oh. Staying in line, marking time, waiting for a welfare dime. They can't buy a child. A man in a silk suit hurries by, catches a poor old lady's eye. Just for fun, he says, get a job, hey. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. It's just the way it is. Don't you believe in? Oh, you can change the world. You can change this world. You can change the world. Hey. One smile, one good thing at a time, and you can change the world. Hey. You're changing it, you're changing the world, yeah.
Thank you,
That's
Niles.
she.
That was beautiful.
You got it. You got it. Just wanted to say congratulations again. I don't want to take up too much time, but you guys are changing the world, and I'm proud of you. Stay awesome.
We appreciate that. Thank you, Niles. That is very kind. And now I will turn it over to our CEO, Austin Thompson. So take it away, Austin.
Thank you, Mary. And my name is Austin Thompson. As Mary mentioned, I'm the founder and CEO of Community Dynamics, who most of you on the call know as CDX, particularly our clients who are here and friends and partners. So, Mary, it's okay to say CDX now. I think people who are new to working with us now, you can use CDX as well. So I want to talk to you about just three things before we hear from our incredible special guest speakers, Manuela and Oneisha. First, I want to talk to you about the incredible impact we've had at CDX with our clients and partners to help strengthen their organizations and partner ecosystems, as well as grow the pie of available funding for their work over the past 4 years. Second, I'd like to share what I believe CDX can do a lot better in the future over the next 4 years, drawing particularly from lessons we've learned over the last 4 years. Yes, there are things that we think we can do better. And third and lastly, I'll wrap up by telling you how you and your organization and partner ecosystem can collaborate with us to strengthen and grow through a new entity that we're launching called CDX Data. Before I go any further, I want to thank our clients, many of whom are on this call as I was scrolling through the Zoom, or those of you who will watch this webinar later on when we post it on our LinkedIn as well as YouTube. Without your leadership and allowing us an opportunity to support your mission, we wouldn't exist at CDX. And I want to thank the funders, philanthropists who invest in technical assistance and capacity building support for their grantees. As a former funder myself, serving on 2 foundation boards currently, I know it takes vision and ecosystem level thinking to understand that technical assistance and capacity building support, like what CDX provides, can be incredibly catalytic for partners, grantee partners. So I wanted to thank the philanthropic and government partners who are on the call who've done just that the last 4 years. And last but not least, I want to thank the incredible team at CDX, Janetta, who's been with us from almost the beginning, who leads our finance and operations. You'll hear from her a little bit later on. Mary, special projects, who you've heard from. They're both on this call speaking, but we also have Alonzo, head of technology, and Peter, who's our data engineer, and James, who I saw here, is here as well, a full stack engineer who's leading our software architecture work, and you'll hear about CDX Data in a little bit. And so I want to thank the full CDX and CDX Data team for the incredible work you've done and the collaborations that we've had over the last 4 years and what we're going to do in the next 4. So with the thank yous out of the way, I do want to dig in a little bit into the impact CDX has had over the last 4 years with our clients. First, we help to exponentially strengthen organizations and partner ecosystems. We've conducted 200 plus strategy workshops and trainings across more than 15 US states and Puerto Rico, and also done work in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil as well. Shout out to Jiri if you're here on the call. And that's about 50 trainings per year, or about 1 training per week. And so with a small team, that's incredible scale. And more than scale, our average satisfaction score from those workshops and trainings on strategy were 90%. So participants are highly satisfied with their experiences in our workshops and trainings. And we take great pride in the scale of what we've done. but more importantly in the quality of what we've done over the last 4 years, to try to upgrade strategic thinking, strategic action, and strategic reflection in the field of community and economic development, place-based change making. We've also trained over 150 leaders in impact measurement and management, data systems, and fundraising leadership. And I'm happy to say that many of these leaders, some of you who are on the call, have gone on to take new executive director roles and leadership responsibilities. Many of you are participating in local committees in your communities, local government boards. We've worked with mayors who have gone on to do incredible things, and other leadership positions as well. And so we're extremely proud that we've played a role in helping multiply the quantity and the quality of leaders out there in the world, as Niles was singing about, who are making change and doing great things in their organizations and partner ecosystems. Finally, we've also helped grow the scale and reach of dozens of place-based coalitions and partnerships. And I saw many of you here who've been a part of those efforts, national collaborations, advancing community and economic development, advancing democracy. We all know that multi-stakeholder collaboration work is extremely difficult and complex. And CDX has been entrusted by you and other large-scale philanthropic initiatives multiple times over the last 4 years to facilitate and provide coordination for several coalitions, dramatically supporting growth in their scale of reach. So it's been a ton of fun. It's been complex, and we've gotten a lot done around community impact. So I've talked about how we've helped strengthen organizations and their partner ecosystems. And now I want to talk quickly before we hear from our guest speakers to speak from their own perspective about how much we've done to help partners and their ecosystems raise money. And I think that's an important part of the story. So one of the claims that I'll make here today, and people on this call will call me out if I am wrong about this, but I can say that I don't believe there's been a single client from whom the amount of new money they were able to raise working with CDX did not exceed the value of the contract they had with CDX by a factor of 10 or higher. And that was a commitment that I made early on, playing multiple roles across the ecosystem, that I know that growing organizations is priority number one for most organizations and partnership ecosystems. And so we've helped to 10x the revenue working with our partners and clients. And a good example of this is what we've done over the last 4 years around federal funding application assistance, where CDX, we helped organizations and partner ecosystems win more than $500 million in awarded grants from multiple federal agencies. And I think we all are well aware of the pivot of the new administration. Had that pivot not have happened, that would be much closer to $1 billion with a B. And so CDX helped to grow the pie with federal funding application assistance. Those aren't our wins. Those are wins that our clients, their organizations, and their partner ecosystems won. But we did play a role, and we're proud of that. And philanthropic application assistance. CDX helped organizations and partner ecosystems unlock 100 million plus in funding secured for organizations through aligned and pooled giving vehicles from major foundations and intermediaries. Some of the broadband work, for example, that I know some of you on the call are familiar with, for example. So CDX helped to grow the pie in terms of philanthropic funding as well. And again, I want to say this loud and clear. It's something that I'm very proud of, is how we've been catalytic both in terms of strengthening organizations and partner ecosystems, but also in growing the pie and trying to strengthen the ecosystem from a revenue perspective and fundraising perspective as well. The impact stories, we could tell a lot of them. Maybe you'll hear from Manuela and Oneisha a few impact stories, because the top lines that I gave really don't do justice to what it's like on the ground, the work that CDX has done with our clients. And but I did want to say that APIFM, Asian Pacific Islander Forward Movement in Los Angeles, they do a lot of food security work for low-income communities across the Los Angeles County area. They wrote a blog recently, which we can pop into the chat a little later in the call, about our collaboration on technology services to accelerate some of their impact. And so I would love to get into more of those impact stories. Perhaps in the chat, we'll share those links. So pivoting as I begin to close and hear from our incredible guest speakers, what could we have done differently over the last 4 years? And what does it mean for where we want to go? So first, a greater focus on the challenge around data. This is important because at Community Dynamics CDX, what we saw was that to expect an organization to be sustainable as an effective organization if they didn't have modernized data systems, or even make data informed decisions, it was a mistaken expectation. And that the value we could deliver to an organization that did not have their data well organized would be severely limited in the long haul. And so going forward, I'm happy to announce here, you will hear a lot about this in the future. CDX is launching CDX Data, which is a software solution provider focused on data management solutions for mission-driven organizations. Because we think that data modernization is so important to the future, we're going to make it core to our work going forward and not just an add-on. And we're going to gradually do fewer things and make data modernization our singular point of focus over the next 4 years. Second, institutions of higher education matter. I believe that Oneisha may have joined us from the Georgia Technology Authority, and congratulations to my home state of Georgia announcing their broadband recipients. That's a big deal for us. I won't elaborate on that, but those of you from my home state of Georgia understand the digital divide there. And higher education institutions were one of the institutions on the front line of broadband accessibility in my home state of Georgia and across the country. And we've seen a lot of backbone organizations and coalitions across the country, across a range of issues. You know, we've seen higher education institutions play that backbone role. And so from a research impact perspective, from a broader societal impact perspective, think digital access, workforce development, historically Black colleges and universities. When we look back at the past 4 years, we think going forward, CDX Data, CDX can be doing more in addition to supporting nonprofits, working with institutions of higher education. Third, and finally, I think we could have done a lot better in delivering more software solutions and technologies and tools to empower researchers and data analysts. A lot of the clients that we work with already have data teams in-house and researchers in-house, and they don't necessarily need CDX to come in and do the work beyond the initial workshops that we've done with them. But what they really do want, and we've heard them ask for, is a data and evaluation vendor who can help them build impeccable data systems and to manage the data wrangling and create the secure data storage systems to help them upgrade and modernize their data system to be Gen AI ready. And so that's what we're going to be focused on in this exciting new phase of CDX. We offer a managed service, and we're also collaborating with Amazon Web Services, which is one of the largest cloud providers in the world, to deliver next year a software solution on their marketplace that will be available for purchase, and also customizing solutions for our clients going forward. So as I close, I want to introduce you to CDX Data, and we're confident that many of our past and current clients will be eager to work with us in this new iteration of this work, because our fundamental impact that I talked about earlier, from strengthening organizations and partner ecosystems, as well as growing the pie of available funding, will only increase if we can modernize the data infrastructure in place-based coalitions across the country and the world. So when can you start working with CDX Data? The answer is right now. Don't wait until you close that grant. I know right now people are fundraising, ramping up for 2026. And we're happy to have a free consultation with those of you on the call and your team, because the support we can provide you can actually help you win the grant. And we know that these are volatile times for nonprofits and higher education institutions because of changes in federal funding. But we're redoubling our commitment. We know in this competitive funding landscape, a fine-tuned data system and a strong modern data strategy can be a source of differentiation in that competitive landscape. And so thank you so much for being here again to celebrate the last 4 years with us today. It really means a lot to our team. And we look forward to all of the good we'll do in the world over the next 4 years. Mary, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Austin. Um, we are very excited to be announcing and launching CDX Data. So we hope you guys are in for that ride. For now, I will pass it over to Oneisha Freeman Rojales from the Georgia Technology Authority. So Oneisha, take it away.
Yes, hi. Just want to check that you guys can hear me okay. Yes. Perfect. So it is really good to be here with you and congratulations anniversary to Austin and the CDX team. When Austin first reached out to me about making an impact in his home state of Georgia, we really connected around something that I think we both deeply believe in. That's community empowerment. Community impact really happens locally. And it happens with the people who live, who work, and who play and pray in that very community. And so I think that one of the things I want to share is a powerful partnership that CDX had with Empower Southwest Georgia. It was definitely a pretty natural fit. Empower Southwest Georgia is in the southwest part of our state and in an area that has they're pretty disconnected in relation to broadband access. So this wasn't just about the broadband access, although that was, of course, a big part of it. But we're really looking at all aspects of how the people in Southwest Georgia were connected. So this great group of community members all came together and they were looking at broadband access. They were looking at various different things in their community and making that connection with CDX was great. The organization really stepped in to fill in those gaps and find as many resources as they can and pull together opportunities for students to get computers, to do training, pulling together and doing roundtables and having conversations and other civic leaders to really brainstorm real solutions for their county. And that was that grassroots capacity building at its finest. And I'm really excited to see them be almost a blueprint for a way you can really impact, bring that local community, those local community members and leaders together to have a conversation to impact their community. Through my work, I work at the Georgia Technology Authority and I am the digital connectivity manager. But over the past couple of years, one of the things I've really seen is how these nonprofits and community groups, everyone really is being asked to do more, improve more, um, and specifically with data. So I'm glad to hear you talk about that. Um, Austin, because funders, we really want to know the outcomes, and the communities want to know what the impact of organizations are going to make, and staff. They typically sometimes don't have all the tools and the systems in place to like pull it all together at the very time that it's needed. Um, and I think sometimes people always feel like everyone's maybe asking for something different, but there's a through line typically that's there. And I think the data can a lot of times unveil that. And the real truth is that organizations are going to need those tools and the partners who really care about more than just like doing another project, but care about their community. I think the best organizations and companies that are working with local community members are the ones that take the time to really understand the fabric of that community and to build around that and build the projects that they do around that. Because technology alone is not going to solve it, and I've definitely seen a lot of projects that kind of miss the mark because they focus only on like the programming or the coding and not so much on the community part of the work. So when you're doing this kind of community work, the why and the purpose have to be built into the architecture of a project. And I think folks really need to know that the companies that they're working with about their community. Again, not just it being another project. And they need to see companies that are going to show up as trusted advisors and community partners just as much as technical experts. So for me, the biggest takeaway is that data is not just numbers, it's storytelling, it's proof, it's a way to communicate your value in the community, and it's a way to make the case for more resources. When organizations are given those tools, they can track they can not only just track information, but they can really build something powerful for their community. So as CDX continues to reflect in this event on what they've been doing and looking towards the next years, I really see this work as a bigger shift, really making sure that organizations of all sizes have the access to the systems and the support that they need to really serve people well. And I think that's something that matters to all of us. So I just thank you guys for having me here today and allowing me to share. Super proud of the team and what they're doing. I feel very honored to have been able to be you all have been a thought partner with me. Maybe I've given you guys some things to think about as well. I don't know. But again, just super grateful for this moment to share and so yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Oneisha, for the story and the kind remarks. We really appreciate you being here today to celebrate with us. Now I will turn it over to Manuela Arciniegas from the Communities for Just Schools Fund to hear from her.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Manuela. My pronouns are she, hers, and I am the Executive Director of Communities for Just Schools Fund. We're a funder and organizer collaborative that resources 75 grassroots organizing partners working at the state, local, and national level. Their goal is to increase the holistic safety and civic leadership of youth, caregivers, and educators. Our partner network is led 95% people of color. That's who they serve, that's who the leadership is. Yet they're 65% fiscally sponsored, and most of them have budgets under $1 million. We know that the data says that the majority of Black-led organizations have reported that if they lose 1 to 2 funders, in the course of this year, they're facing the threat of having to close their doors. And so it was up to all of us to think about what will we do to make sure that organizations can improve their effectiveness, can grow their ability to raise money, can align their strategies to their impact. I'm excited to be here today to celebrate CDX's beautiful 4 years because they really have been a champion to us to help CJSF meet this moment. This is a rapidly changing political and philanthropic terrain. Earlier on this year, we assessed that the organizing field has definitely achieved monumental wins, like ending contracts with police and schools and increasing public funding for public education. We've also known for centuries that organizing really increases the self-determination of communities and their ability to co-govern in public systems. So I want to just take us all back to the feeling that many of us had after the elections, where we were drowning in overwhelmed grief and disorientation. As CJSF, as staff, we asked ourselves, how could we be strategic amidst all of the suffering that we're witnessing and amidst the rapidly changing terrain? Do we have the skills we need to grow to navigate the intersection of working across philanthropy, organizing, technology, government, business? This monumental shift, the federal defunding of the Department of Ed, the erosion of civil rights of young people, have only increased the criminalization of Black and Brown and Indigenous youth, and yet we have our part to play. So about CJSF, we've been around for 10 years, and earlier this year, as we reflected on our ability to meet the moment, we knew we needed to bring in experts, people we trust, people who are values aligned and have the skills to take us there. And CDX was instrumental, one, in helping us ground as humans who are doing really important work, and helping us to assess this current moment, helping us gain the skills to strategically evaluate what's our mission, how do we get there, is it working, what do we need to build. Through CDX, we were able to clarify our Youth Better Off measures and evaluative framework that helped align staff understanding, a board understanding, and our organizing partner network's understanding of what it means when we all work together to achieve collective impact. We use this evaluative framework to make sure everyone was on the same page, to increase transparency and communication, and to get the work of doing things together better. Through that aligned understanding, we were able to think about, well, what are the specific strategies and tactics needed to meet this moment as we build towards a 5-7 year arc of success and change. CDX is coaching both on fundraising, on telling our story, on clarifying our impact, helped us position us to be in the final stages, knock on wood, of an additional $3 million investment from 2 additional foundations, which is really, really integral in a season where philanthropy could do a lot more to resource grassroots organizing. As we received the wonderful and patient coaching of Austin and the team, we were able to work through anxiety and stress that I think all of us have felt in this season to think about our assets, our gifts, our talents, and our mission. In closing, we know that grassroots leaders are the most brilliant. They're directly impacted and they have the solutions. But underinvestment across the board in their organizations, in the capacity, in their infrastructure, in their leaders, has really positioned us. It's put us in a difficult place. And so finding people like Austin and CDX are really making change possible, growing our partners' confidence that they can grow and learn the skills to get there. And then they have methodology that's not burdensome, it's not convoluted or jargony. It's a simple assessment, good work of strategy. Our role is to open the doors for increased access and resources and capacity of leaders. And a partnership with CDX is what has put us there. And now as we look into the future, when we're supporting grassroots groups to think about how AI is going to impact public education, what is the role of data? How do we use that to measure and assess and then pivot and refine? This is really the work that will be felt at a very local level because change is local, and helping local leaders build the skills and the platforms, the infrastructure, the shared vision and alignment will be what sees us through this season and helps us build the communities we all want. So congratulations, CDX and everyone in this crew. We're so grateful and we look forward to our continued partnership.
Thank you, Manuela. We are grateful for you. I know you've seen me in your inbox for many things, many times, but we do appreciate you and we thank you for being here. I'm now going to pass it over to Janetta, who is going to take us through what is coming in the future.
Thank you, Mary. As Mary stated, I'm Janetta. I work in finance and operations for CDX. Over the past 4 years, as you've heard, CDX has supported place-based coalitions and nonprofits with strategy, training, and funding, helping our clients secure over $350 million in grants while building stronger organizations and ecosystems. Looking ahead, we are launching CDX Data to focus on data modernization and software solutions that empower nonprofits and higher education institutions to scale their impact in an increasingly competitive funding landscape. And as always, we love feedback. So at this time, we want to hear from you guys. Shortly, there's going to be a survey on the screen, and we're asking that you guys fill this out. So you can scan the barcode, or either you can join online with slido.com and, of course, enter in the reference code. And at this time, we'll pause while you guys get that pulled up and complete the survey. And I see we have 2 people who've accessed the survey thus far. All right, and I see some people are commenting. So we have lack of available funding incorporating AI into our workflows, and those are all good topics. And we'll see if we can, okay. And then next we have being able to tell well thought out impact stories, understanding the best way to tell the impact. And again, that is excellent. Mhm. And while you guys continue to complete that, we'll move into Q&A. So at this time, we'll ask that you use the Q&A feature on the Zoom call to submit your questions. Okay. And I see that we do have a question. What does CDX think is the number one challenge with data today in sector?
I could take that one, Janetta, and I think Manuela, who's still on, and thank you so much, Manuela, for sharing your story and all of your tireless efforts. But you kind of alluded to some of the work we did around the impact measurement framework and how that was that enabled a lot more strategic alignment internally with partners, grantee partners within staff, but also with funders as well. And Janetta, I think people start, as Oneisha from the Georgia Technology Authority mentioned earlier, people often start with technology and tools and AI, and which obviously we are starting CDX Data, and we have software engineers and others who are capable in those areas. But the primary issue is a lack of strategic clarity about why data matters and to whom it matters, and how can data not just be a byproduct of the work that organizations do. That's the old school way of thinking about data. But to think about data as a product or as a lever that you can use to move your mission. So the biggest problem I've seen around data, Janetta, is the lack of data strategy in the ecosystem. And we think that having as CDX Data, we think that starting with a solid impact measurement framework is the place to begin with the conversation on data modernization. And we find that that sounds simple, but in practice, for many organizations, is quite challenging because funders, board members, staff may have diverging points of view about what's important to track and why. And there's also an educational challenge, Janetta, which is that people don't yet always understand the difference between outputs and outcomes and impacts. So there's a level of kind of, raising the floor in the conversation with data, not starting with tools or CRMs or all of these bells and whistles that you hear people talk about, but taking a step back, raising the floor and saying, what's our impact measurement framework, and are we aligned with key stakeholders on it? It's not probably the sexiest answer, Janetta. It's not what people want to hear, but we find we're best able, with James and Alonzo and Peter on our team who are on the call, they're best able to help develop the solution architecture once they have a clear sense of what the impact measurement framework is. And then from there, we can start to build out technology solutions.
Thank you for that, Austin. And I just want to maybe ask a question based off of your statement that you made. As you've hinted to, and you guys have hinted to on the call, many nonprofits struggle to move from collecting data to actually using it for decision making. Do you have any practical first steps for organizations that want to build a stronger data strategy without overwhelming their staff?
I think so. And if there's other CDXers, I know that it's only the three of us CDXers here. Maybe what we could do is in the fall or early next year, have like a office hours type setup where you all can hear from our technical team. I'm saying that to the audience who's live and then who's watching on the webinar, so that you can hear from them as well. But just speaking quickly on that, I think, book a free consultation with CDX Data to dig into that. We talk at CDX Data a lot about the life cycle from data ingestion all the way through visualization. And that life cycle has a few steps. I'll just mention very quickly. First, you have your data sources, and then we know higher education institutions and nonprofits, they have multiple data sources, whether it's their CRM, customer relational management database, they have their financial data in QuickBooks or some other system. Sometimes they have spreadsheets in Excel, and it's all over the place. So this first step is to kind of take those diverse data sets and ingest them into a staging location. And we find that one of the big challenges, Janetta, quickly is at that step, staging your data across these various domains. People don't have what's called a data warehouse or a data lake or other ways of staging that data. After that, there's a process of data cleaning and transformation. And most of the data analysts we work with, Janetta, and researchers, they're doing that cleaning by hand. So you'll have, 100 different spreadsheets. You try to, okay, we got a report for a funder. Let's try to make it one spreadsheet, but they have different columns, different entity types if you're SQL versed. And so you by hand, you spend a lot of time doing that work of data wrangling and data cleaning, and it exhausts your energy and your time and focus because you really want your data analysts and researchers communicating the data. You want them doing training and helping partners understand how to apply the data, brainstorming about data products, but you're spending so much of your time with data cleaning manually, it's not freeing them up. And so a lot of what we've heard, Janetta, as you know, is excitement from data analysts and researchers that CDX Data exists, where we can handle the back-end data engineering. We can set up the infrastructure to free you up and empower you as an analyst to do what you came to the organization to do in the first place, which is not to be manually cleaning data, but using that data to inspire advocacy or whatever your mission is. And then finally, Janetta, in the closing, a lot of the sector are using data visualization tools. And so that's like one of the last stages, but how do you make that data in the visualization tools accessible to the right people, meeting the right compliance requirements? There's a lot of personal identified information, PII requirements. So if you're doing a survey of voters or survey of students, and it's personalized data, there's a tremendous risk around privacy requirements, Janetta, that people don't think about. And so working with CDX Data, we can help on the compliance side as well, really automate the compliance as well as do some training and capacity building so that folks can work with those PII data sets.
Thank you for that, Austin. And so I think we have time for one more question, which was, how do we get connected to partner and learn more about CDX Data? And we're definitely glad you asked that. So you guys should have a link to a newsletter in the chat. And if you haven't, we ask that you subscribe and share with those who will find our resources and content very beneficial. And then lastly, you can follow our journey with CDX Data by visiting our website. And if there's nothing else, I'll pass it back to Mary.
Thank you, Janetta. You guys should see those links shortly here. Lastly, I guess I just want to say thank you again to all of our panelists, all of our speakers, everyone who has come to support CDX as we take a look ahead as well as reflect. Um, we are very excited about CDX data. We really want you guys to get in the know, and I'm a little bit biased because I helped with the website design, so totally check out our website. Um, yeah, and our LinkedIn newsletter, Austin will be posting content on there all the time. So really excited to have these channels for you guys. Um, we will close out here shortly. We'll have another performance from the Niles Rivers, if Niles is ready. While we wait for Niles. Oh, let's see, unmute. Awesome.
Alrighty. First of all, can you guys hear my guitar okay and everything, my voice? Okay. Well, I just want to say I'm just kind of in awe, of what I'm listening to, what you guys are doing. It's just hearing the details are far more. It's just thrilling, really, to hear what you guys are doing, and I'm just grateful to be a part of celebrating you guys. So here we go. Looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. This world that I found is too good to be true. Standing here beside you, want so much to give you. This love in my heart, I'm feeling for you. You can be crazy, I don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby, don't ever look back. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we're heart to heart. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nothing's gonna stop us now. I'm so glad I found you. I'm not gonna lose you. Whatever it takes to stay here with you. See it through the bad times, take it through the good times. Whatever it takes, that's what I'm gonna do. Let them say we're crazy, what do they know? Put your arms around me, baby, don't ever let go. Let the world around us just fall apart. Baby, we can make it if we're heart to heart. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Oh, nothing's gonna stop us. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Thank you, Niles. That was beautiful. We appreciate you guys being here. We will close it out from here. If anyone has any further questions or anything like that, cdxdata.com. Go to request a demo, and our booking link is on that. We don't necessarily need to do the demo on there if you guys just want to take a call. But yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, everyone.